Hey y'all, welcome to the vlog. What's called? I'm on my way to work. This is the OOT day. Oh, too cute. Oh wait, hold on. Let me do a walk. Oh, y'all ready? Too cute. So yeah, I'm on my way to work, but first I want to stop and get some Taco Bell. So it is 12:40. I gotta be at work at 1. I am hungry. And one thing about it, whoop, let's get back up here. What am I doing? I'm trying to, the vlog is late. This is the second week in a row the vlog has been late. But that's because my laptop ain't trying to cooperate. I think, maybe not now, but soon enough it's getting to that point where it's like, girl, we're gonna need to invest in a desktop. And I'm looking into, what I'm gonna start doing is getting flash drives. Like, you know, like the ones when you was younger. Getting those and maybe that'll help some of the transfer stuff, like transferring of files and stuff. Oh, hold on, y'all a little dirty. But yeah, so also I showed y'all how I look over like that. My neighbor was like, oh girl, you looking small now, you losing weight, whatever that. Randomly I was walking my dog, and I wear a lot of baggy stuff, especially when I'm walking my dog, like, because in the morning time especially, it'd be cold, so I try to wear, like, you know, some baggier stuff so I'll be a little warm. And she was like, oh, you losing weight, whatever like that. I called my homeboy, I said, why did my neighbor call me a big bag beat? He said, now I know she didn't say that, I know you're being dramatic. And I was like, but that's how I felt, because I feel like when you comment on somebody's weight, and I'm learning this, because especially, I can't speak to other communities, but especially as a woman and a black woman, being told that you're losing weight is supposed to be like one of the best compliments you could possibly ever receive, especially if you grew up plus size. And I'm like relearning certain things, and I feel like I understand, and this is why I would never hold it against her or nothing like that, because I know her intent was never to like be rude or be mean or be insensitive or nothing like that. But I am learning that, like, commenting on somebody's body or their weight and stuff like that, you have no idea where they're at in their journey. You know what I mean? You have no idea where their mindset is at. And like for me, I'm not trying to lose weight. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to gain weight either. I'm just existing. And I feel like when somebody does comment on your body like that, it then starts, I can't speak to other people, but at least for me, it starts to make me feel a little like aware or conscientious of something I wasn't aware of, aware or conscientious of something before. But I don't know, girl. Sorry to start the vlog off like that, but yeah, I'm about to head to work. The Taco Bell is like right by the Dollar Tree, so I'm about to go do that. And then when I get off work, I have a academic planning meeting with my counselor. This time, I go tell nobody what to do with their journey or how their life is with it. I recommend, and I also would never recommend JUCO. It's like two sides of a coin, you know what I mean? Like, I would recommend it in the sense that, like, the preparation for college that you get is pretty great, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you got to be like aware of whatever college you go to and stuff. You just have to be aware of where you're going. But I feel like it was a good stepping stone for me to understand how college works. Granted, depending on where you go, it could always be stricter, the curriculum could always be tougher or whatever, but at least the concept of how things are done in college, I got to learn going to JUCO. More of the reasons why I would not go were more interpersonal relationships, so I'm not going to get into all that, especially before work. I'm trying to stay in a good mood. But me now trying to become an ultrasound technician, I've gone through, like, JUCO is a community college, so I've already gone the community college route. I understand how a lot of things work. The only difference this time is me applying my military benefits. Prior to that, my mom was my mom was getting all her retirement stuff done, so this is the first time where I'm using my benefits and stuff like that or whatever. But I'm doing my academic planning, and rather than just jumping into classes like I would have done, like I did last year when I went to Arizona State, this time I said, you know what, let me mentally prepare myself to go back to school. Hold on, y'all.
My name is Nancy. How may I help you today?
Hi, can I please do the $7 Lux Craving Box?
Okay, your drink with that today?
Can that please be a what is, sorry, do you guys have like some sort of fruit punch?
We have the Gatorade fruit punch if you'd like that.
Do you have lemonade?
We have strawberry lemonade.
Can I do the strawberry lemonade with no ice?
Okay, what else for you?
Can that be a large? And then the beefy 5-layer burrito. Can I have no beans in that?
Okay.
For the Doritos Locos Taco, can I have no lettuce on that? And then for the Supreme chalupa, can I please take all the Supreme off and just have like a regular chalupa with beef?
Yes, ma'am.
And that'll be it.
One Lux box with a chicken chalupa, no tomatoes, no sour cream. A 5-layer with no beans. A DLC with no lettuce. And a large strawberry lemonade with no egg. Would you like any sauce with the order today?
Hot and Diablo, please.
Your total today is $7.70. Please pull forward, ma'am.
Thank you so much. He definitely was like, girl, don't come up in here thinking it's that, because it's not that. Hold on. Vlog. Wait. Hey, vlog. So, I am...
Hey, vloggy.
Say hey to Caleb, y'all. I am getting Parker some dog food, but I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be showing y'all what I'm doing in my life, so I'm gonna show y'all that. But girl, it's still a little awkward to film in Walmart because people be in the bids. So I'm gonna call y'all back when I leave, but at least y'all saw that I was here. Can we meet in the middle? Okay, handshake. Okay, call you back. Hey y'all, so I was like, let me go ahead and get this in the vlog real because I forgot. I went to a smoothie shop here in town. So good, by the way, so bomb. Now I'm about to go get some she crab soup and take some photos because I feel like, you know, why not, you know what I mean? And like I said, I'm trying to be consistent on that TikTok thing. I've been posting at least once a day, so I'm trying to keep up with that, girl. And so let me take some photos, and yeah, I'm like, it's a cute, chill little fit, whatever, nothing too crazy, and yeah, that's the vibes. That's the bomb. But yeah, girls, I'm probably gonna call y'all back in a minute. All right, call you back. Bye. Thank you so much. Hey y'all, so I just got out of church, and well, I didn't just get out, but I got out of church. I'm at my favorite wing spot, America's Best Wings. I didn't know there was one near my church, so I went over here, and I'm not gonna lie, we kind of in the hood, we kind of in the ghetto, but you know, that's all right. That's all right, you know. I just don't want my car broken into or nothing like that, girl. Also, I kind of curled the wig or like that. I feel like I'm kind of giving it a little older than I would like to be. You know, I'm only 22. I feel like I'm kind of looking a little older, but yeah. I'm talking to Bookie Bear and waiting for my wings. I get hot lemon pepper, the 10-piece combo, hot lemon pepper, and then peach lemonade is different. Sometimes I get all flats. It depends on if I'm in the mood or whatever. Today I just don't care. I'm like, make it quick. And typically when I do all flats, it's a little bit longer. So I said, I don't have time for that today. I'm ready to get home and go back to my baby. My baby meaning Parker B. I'm gonna call y'all back right now. I just want to chill and decompress. Good morning, vlog. It is November 4th, 7:27 a.m. This vlog will be out prior to the election, so I just want to preface this by saying, make sure that you go vote. One key point that I just would want to acknowledge, I'm gonna make a TikTok, I think, about it because I see certain narratives being spewed that are extremely out of hand and irresponsible to me. But regardless, I'm not here to condemn anybody for which way you vote. Let me make that very clear. But as a Christian, I am here to provide righteous judgment to other Christian folks. In voting for Trump, right? And I've seen a lot of discourse and conversation about the fact that Kamala had Beyonce on stage and the things that Beyonce said. There's a few points I want to get to, so let me try to make sure that I'm as, like, sometimes I can get scatterbrained, so I want to make sure that I talk about everything, I think, in the way that I would like it to be communicated. When we're talking about just solely alone right now, I'll touch on something in a second, but just Beyonce. If you do believe her to be a witch and practice active witchcraft, right? This is because of the subliminal messaging that she has provided in whether it's her videos and the things that she has said, because she's never outright told you that, right? So we've practiced discernment in there, right? Just to be clear. Now, I would like us to now apply this same discernment when we judge other characters, or when we not judge. I would like us to practice the same discernment when we are looking at the candidates of which right now are choosing. Yes, there's third party, but realistically speaking, third party will not, win. But when we're using discernment, because again, she's never outright said, and she's actually denounced the fact that she's done witchcraft. Like she has said it's like in her songs, like whether you want to agree with her or not, when she said y'all are corny with this Illuminati mess. She's denounced that, but we all have the understanding that even with her saying that, she was still actively putting things in her music videos that could be seen or taken as witchcraft, and you use discernment to understand that even if she has said, because again, I'm not saying whether I agree with this or not, I'm saying based off of what you all are saying, that she's still showing signs of witchcraft, meaning she could lie, right? As any human being could lie, correct? If we're going based on what you all are saying. Now, let's take Trump. And I want to be very clear in this. I can't speak on this without having any bias because I am going to be voting for Kamala, but I want to vote on the actual day that we can vote. I will be voting for Kamala. So if that already is like, oh, you're going to be biased, regardless of whether you like it or not, if somebody is voting for a specific candidate, they're going to have some sort of bias in the conversation. Now, when we apply this same narrative onto Trump, you all who are saying, oh, well, he denounced Project 2025, so it's so he's not going to enact that. One, I understand most of you probably have not read Project 25 because I have not read the entirety of Project 25 because it's 913 pages. I understand. But in the beginning of the writing of Project 2025, Trump endorsed it back in 2022. And he said that he believed the people writing it were extremely great and intelligent people. Oh, that has nothing to do with him. Project 25 has nothing to do with him. His name, and in what they're writing for the agenda to be, is mentioned 312 times, referring to him and his reign as president previously. So, and based on the things that he has said this entire time of him trying to run for president again, they aligned with Project 2025. Even in, because I want to make sure I get in Agenda 47, which is the agenda that he claims to be solely endorsing, nothing else. I think some of you are not practicing discernment and reading that agenda as well. Specifically, I want to touch on public education because a lot of you don't work in the education system, so I don't think you value it as much as you should. Your average American, middle-class American, is not going to be able to afford private school. Say they have 2 kids for both children without any sort of financial support. So most kids are going to public school. I went to public school. Everyone around me, except for I think like one person, went to public school. His rearranging of the educational system, one, he's already said that he would love to be able to completely eradicate the funds that go to public education. That's just one. But then if you want to, based on other statements, because you know he likes to recant and lie, he said math, English, I think he said like arithmetic, he does not want history to be included. And of the history that he would like to be displayed, because at one point he said he didn't want any history, and then he said, oh, this is how I would like it to look. Not pushing political beliefs or a certain nationalism or whatever. But then he says, well, in history, I want them to have love for their country. I beg to ask you, you can't force someone's opinion on our country. How does he plan on doing this? By removing certain historical facts in order to push an agenda. You removing, say, slavery, or leaving it up to the states, which you know a lot of states will remove, whether it's slavery or how Native Americans had their lives and culture eradicated from them in some of the most gruesome ways, or how any Asian American at some point in life, like, well, not at some point in life, I think it was the 80s or the 90s, I want to say, maybe prior to them, whenever the Vietnam War was, it was probably before the 80s and 90s, and how they were being sent to concentration camps, similar to Jewish folks, would like that to be removed. Basically, most minority groups that have experienced some sort of oppression or discrimination, he would like to have removed from history books, where children are supposed to be understanding the history of their great nation. By doing this, you now remove flaws of this nation. If you remove that history, you're now saying to, say, a black child, an Asian child, or a Native American child. These are just smaller examples. There's plenty of other examples. I'm just saying smaller examples. That their now opinion or feelings that they may face, or how do I say this? Because some of you like to act with a lack of intelligence at times. No shade, but shade. When we talk about discriminatory policies that get placed, the basis of a lot of these things are based on history of which these minority groups have experienced. When we talk about again, I'm trying to play nice with y'all because people love to act a little indifferent. When we talk about some of these policies that have been placed, and how, even if we look at jail and the systems of jail and stuff like that, I think some of you don't realize where jail even came to be about. How did we even reach what we know to be the jail system today, the prison system today? How did we reach that? Because free slaves who were supposed to have gotten a job and gotten land and stuff like that were not. So how do we still make money off of them without calling them a slave? The term becoming a felon was rooted in slavery. I don't think some of you realize that. Now, granted, I understand nowadays and stuff like that with certain criminal acts and stuff like that, becoming a felon. But I don't think some of you understand how the term felon and the context of which we use it in America today came to be. It was rooted in discrimination. It was rooted in oppression towards black free slaves. And I'm not even going to say just black slaves, because people fail to realize there was Native American slaves as well. It was rooted in being able to still make money off these folks who could not buy land, who could not do anything, because when they were freed, they were not offered a lump sum of money. They were not offered anything to set them at a point to be able to achieve the American dream. They were left with nothing. Basically, imagine being, well, actually, not even imagine. This happens present day. Whether it's a man or a woman, because both people can be physically abused. You get the mess beat out of you for years and years and years and years. You say you have 2 kids with this person. They now, you now have the opportunity to leave, and you are left with nothing. Not a car, not even $100 to feed you or your children, and you're having to make it work. Imagine now, imagine. By being homeless or anything like that, it was illegal. Imagine that. Now, this woman or man with their children, who are just trying to make a way, or even if it's by themselves, are now expected to be able to start this life off of nothing. So now you're now arrested. Not going to get too much more deeper into that, because some of you love to act with a lack of intelligence at times. But when we talk about, fast forward back to, when we talk about Project 2025, and how a lot of you like to act like he's not going to still enact Project 2025. Even in his Agenda 47, there are subliminal messagings that could align with Project 2025. He, at one point, endorsed Project 2025 before it was named Project 2025. He knows that people, this is common out. You could go on TikTok and see this. The writers of Project 2025, he knows every single one of them and has aligned with every single one of them. So to say that he's never read it, 1, lie. 2, the things that he has said as far as, letting this be the last time that we vote, and let this, wanting this to be our basically last election. Him, I'm going to butcher this because I'm not going to say it exactly how he said it, because I forgot the word. But basically, a police officer no longer, I'm not even going to try to make this politically correct. A police officer being without criticism or without correction leads, because again, we're not saying all cops are bad. I don't believe that, by no means. I know some cops. I know some sheriff deputies or whatever like that. Not all of them are bad. But when you create a system to where they cannot be accountable for their actions as a police officer, those bad apples, they get to really show their butt. Are y'all not understanding that? Him saying that he would like this to be the last election and all these different things. 1, even if, say he wasn't, let's just say he said that he's denounced Project 2025. His actions leading up to this point have aligned with Project 2025. When he appointed these judges there, the first thing that they did overturned Roe v. Wade, which is in Project 2025. The criminalizing of abortion is what he is looking after. Which I can almost guarantee I'm not even going to get into the abortion thing with all of y'all because we're not even going to go there. He has said several times how he would like to be above critique, criticism, or punishment for the actions of which he's done. He's looking to be your dictator. Now, when we say this, some of you like to pick apart things, right? Like when we're talking about God being the Lord over our lives and providing us with discernment and all these different things, when we're referring to Beyonce, I think you all need to apply this as well. God is not just the Lord over our lives. He's supposed to be our King and our Father as well. So if this man is looking to be our dictator or is making plans of dictatorship, what is he now? King over our lives. This man is blatantly and overtly showing you a comparison between him and God, not as Lord, but as King over your life. And the fact that a lot of you are not acknowledging discernment in that is crazy to me. And then the way that you all like to sit up here and take his words for face value or pick apart these things when it shapes you. Now, I want to preface this again. I'm voting for Kamala, not because I believe that she's going to be able to enact all the things that I would like, but because she can stop and prevent a lot of things from going through that I do not want. She may not be able to accomplish a lot, but she can also stop a lot. She can also veto a lot of things from being enacted. A lot of you who want to talk about the economic standpoint of our country don't understand politics. You do not see most presidents' policies being enacted and it being applied to our day-to-day and us being able to experience, basically, the repercussions from the policies that they would have enforced until they were already out of office. You don't get to see these things being enacted or applied until they are already out of office, or at least until the last year of their presidency. You all loved the comfortability that you felt when Trump was being in office because of policies that Obama was able to achieve. Another thing you are not understanding, with all these things that we talk about wanting from Kamala or from the Biden administration, if you look at the original policies that Obama was trying to enact, you would see, it's a lot of what you all are screaming and wanting. But where you all sit up here and act like politics just became polarizing, no, it became polarizing to U.S. citizens. Politics has always been extremely polarizing to politicians. If you would just look at discussions, because there are times where it is open for you to see, like it's live streamed or whatever like that, in Congress or in the House of Representatives, in Congress, House of Representatives and the Senate. In Congress, if y'all would look, it has always been extremely polarizing. The reason why politics, I cannot stand when you all act as if politics should not be that big of a deal in X, Y, and Z. Politics is rooted in the fighting of whatever your moral and ethical standpoints are in life. You and this person, prime example, the Menendez brothers. Some people do not believe in the death penalty. Others do. It may not affect everybody on the day-to-day, but you know who that affects? The person sitting there. And I'm not saying whether I agree with what the Menendez, I'm just saying how the initial fight was at least to make sure that, the last fight that they had, last court case, I keep saying the last court case that they had and stuff like that was solely trying to make sure that they did not get the death penalty from their lawyer's standpoint of view. That is a moral and ethical viewpoint. Whether you believe in universal health care directly opposing people on this affects one group or the other or both. Whether you believe in abortion or not could directly affect two people's moral and ethical codes of conduct. I understand, and I want this to be clear, I understand the warm and cozy feelings that we have, but I need you all to truly do your research and take people's words also as face value, not just the policies in which they're saying, but also how they're acting. Do I agree with how Kamala has endorsed or the things that she has said about Israel and Gaza? No. And where I have some criticism, hold on, to some of these folks outside of the U.S., you all want to talk about Israel and Gaza as if that's the only issue. Again, a lot of people don't want to do the research. They only want to look at one aspect. Two, Kamala, the whole, she's putting away all these black folks, all this X, Y, and Z, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Do your research on that. I'm not even going to really get into you on that, but please do your research because you are looking very foolish. We want to talk about, if that is the standpoint, right, that she's put so many black people in jail for nothing. Let's make it clear, for nothing, because this is where I do not agree, is us acting like because you belong to a certain group of individuals that you are above reprieve. I understand doing certain things out of necessity. I would never sit up there and argue the intention of that. But when our laws are, which again are corrupt, I'm not arguing that. When our laws are corrupt, if you break the law, there's going to be a consequence to it. Again, I want this to say because a lot of y'all get to acting up. I agree that there are laws that are corrupt and there are consequences that are completely irrational. And a lot of minority groups experience the most harshest of harshest punishments for similar crimes to white folks who don't get the extreme of whatever that punishment is and who may have done a lesser crime. I'm not arguing that. I'm solely talking about if we're looking at things for black and white, which again, most times you cannot. But if you break the law and her job, in her description, her job is to prosecute you, hold you to the law. That's not to say she agrees with the law. That's not to say that she aligns with the law. But she does, however, have to enforce the law. All I'm going to say is I think a lot of you need to practice more discernment when it comes to Trump's narratives, the things that he says, and his policies. You need the same, and this is, I think, a frustration of mine, the same standard that you're holding this black woman Beyonce to. If you do not align with the things that she says or does, I understand. I'm not arguing your beliefs or your faith. I ask that you apply that to then Donald Trump. Because this man is looking to be the king in your life. Excuse me? And not even in your life, in our lives, because we all are impacted. So when you all, another thing is when I want to try to touch on this too. Yes, vote in things that impact your life, but I think you also need to look around at your neighbors. And you need to be considering your neighbors. Because when we all want to vote in a selfish manner of how it affects us, the best example I could give you, where people talk about Chirac in Chicago, I'm not, I don't know nothing about what y'all going on. I'm just talking about solely the gun violence and stuff that people speak about. Rappers themselves have spoken about in Chicago, right? You take the worst of worst neighborhoods that are like completely in poverty or completely like doing a lot of these things out of lack of resources, right? And then you put this $1 million mansion in the center of it. That is like, or how people say Chirac, but you take this $1 million home and you put it in the like heart, say, of Chirac. I need you all to understand what you are doing in doing this. When you vote selfishly, that is how, at least for me, it appears. You want to live in this pretty $1 million home, but are not focused on the surrounding neighborhood of which you're living in, which could then directly impact you because of your neighbor suffering. I'm not a veteran. My mother is, though. I know my uncle is. Actually, I have plenty of aunts and uncles who are veterans. I'm not a veteran. But should I be looking out for veterans? Yes. I know a person who went to private school, but all their friends went to public school. They should be looking out for public education. Because while you were the 1% of whatever to experience whatever, because there's privilege in everything. I think people forget this. Even in us being able to vote, there is privilege. Please do not vote a man in who refuses to acknowledge his privilege in life and who is willing and showing you directly that he wants to be king in your life. As a Christian, and a Christian myself, because I can only speak from this POV. I cannot speak from an atheist standpoint. I cannot speak to an agnostic standpoint. For you Christians who are voting for him solely on the base of how things affect you, or how Beyonce was at that rally, and you believe that to be a endorsement of Kamala saying, I agree with everything that she does and says, you need to hold other people to that similar standpoint and that similar standard. And some of you need to understand how politics works as well. Kamala is not 2022. 2022. Kamala is not 20 or 22 or even 25 or in her 30s. Some things in politics, again, whether you like it or not, politicians are basically some of the best salesmen that you will see. In order for her to reach a certain group of people, she is trying to relate to a certain group of people. That certain group of people, young black folks, because somebody said this, not somebody, I know exactly who her name is, Jasmine Crockett, I want to say she said it. Let me make sure, hold on. Maybe this is Kiki Palmer, yeah. Hold on, waiting for it to load. Yes, Jasmine Crockett said it. Well, paraphrasing, let me make it clear, I'm not quoting. Why am I going blank, girl, what? I forgot, but she had said a really good quote, but I wanted to be clear, like, no, she was talking, I forgot who she was talking to, but she was talking about how white Republicans vote versus a lot of black Democrats. We have to be incentivized. We have to be persuaded to vote. Republicans, regardless, and especially white Republicans, regardless of whether they agree with both candidates or not, they exercise their right to vote because they understand the importance of our vote. All these people telling you, and this is to everybody now, I'm zooming out. We're not in Christians no more. I'm zooming out. For all of you who feel like your vote does not matter because of, well, we're not even the ones who do it anyway, the Electoral College. What the Electoral College is supposed to do, they are supposed to say, look at their state, like, let's play this as a game of telephone. Matter of fact, y'all know that meme where it's like, Judge, she won't stop saying da-da-da-da. Like, let's act in rage like that. They're reaching over to you. This is the state. The state is over here. They're reaching over here. Y'all said y'all want to vote for. Oh, gotcha, girl. They're supposed to run that vote of what the majority of their state said. They're supposed to take that vote and they're supposed to bloop, plop it in. The reason why you see a more somebody winning on the popular vote but not in the Electoral College is because people aren't doing their jobs. And this is where we hold people accountable. Because they're supposed to. You said what, girl? We voting for who? Okay, girl, let's go. Regardless of what they believe. Even if, for instance, say they want Kamala Harris. But their state said Trump. I don't like that either, girl. Let me make that very clear. I don't like that either. But what they're supposed to do is say, Okay, girl. Why do you think it's everywhere? Trying to show where people are leaning, what states are going where, X, Y, and Z. For instance, like Iowa. Iowa have recently completely shocked the polls. Why do you think that it's important? Why do you think that they're constantly showing so much media coverage about this? Because they're supposed to take your vote of what the majority of the state said, and they're supposed to go put that in there. They're not supposed to go based off of what they want. Hold these folks accountable now. Because again, I don't believe anybody is above righteous judgment or critique, babes. But like else is saying, please do not act in a lack of intelligence, the selection, or be passive about it. Really, I apologize on my end because, like, as somebody who's looking to have influence or X, Y, and Z, I should have been telling you guys prior to register to vote. That's a whole other thing. Is if you're not registered to vote, you cannot cast a vote, babes. But I just want it to be clear to all of you, this is not the only important election. A lot of you also need to understand we need to be voting at our local levels as well, because our local levels then impact our federal levels. I hope that you all are safe, especially if you're voting. Please be safe out there. Please, please, please use some discernment during this time. Please do not spew out hate to folks because they do not agree with what you agree with. I may not agree with certain folks that have voted for Trump, and I might believe that there's a lack of awareness in there, but I still acknowledge them as human beings. I don't believe in condemning them. Sorry this got a little serious at the end. Actually, no, I'm not sorry, because some of y'all, girl, let's talk about it. We need to get it together. Thank you. Some of y'all, some of y'all had a little too much stuff sugar-coated to you, and that's why we're voting the way that we're voting, because things have been sugar-coated for some of you. That's all I got. I love y'all. Be safe this week. Winter time is coming. Make sure that you're up in all your vitamins. Make sure you're taking your vitamin D. Make sure, I gotta get into my vitamins, girl. Let's just make sure we're taking care of ourselves and our neighbors, please. Love y'all. TTYLXOX.